It is a communication between your guides and your soul. We sometimes wonder why certain challenges in life keeps repeating, and we attract similar people to help you to find the roots of those wounds, issues, problems. Not all our burdens belongs to us. We might be carrying something from our ancestors.
You can't comprehend how intertwined some things are.
Family constellation therapy is a way to uncover and to release. It's so amazing.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Medium's Table. I'm your host, Michelle Gardner. This podcast is your personal invitation to join me at the intersection of the everyday and the extraordinary. Together, we'll explore the magic of mediumship, share spiritual stories, and connect with fellow mediums on this incredible journey. So grab a seat, pour yourself a cuppa, and come join us at the Medium's Table, where spirits gather and stories unfold. I'd like to welcome back to the show, beautiful soul, spiritual sister, Kasia. Welcome back, Kasia.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Oh, I am so pleased to have you back again. And I just want to share with the audience that you are, now let me see if I can get my list in my head right, a psychic, a medium, a trance medium, and a spiritual therapist.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I haven't left anything out?
Nope. That
was like a shopping list. Now, I know you've got something wonderful and exciting you want to share with us today. So I am going to let you take the floor and bedazzle us with this topic.
Oh, thank you. I am very excited to talk about family constellation therapy, which is really, really close to my heart. And that's something which I started doing. Through the last few years, I've been concentrating more on soul readings, where it is a communication between your guides and your soul and myself. And within that session, I would be passing over all information coming from the guides and your soul to help you, to help you inspire, to heal you, to show you whatever the guides would like you to know, where you're meant to be, on what path you meant to be. And whether it is a word of even confirmation or inspiration or a healing. But within the soul reading, sometimes I was just missing that something which would maybe fully close off the energy. If it was a healing or emotional healing, I was feeling I don't have enough tools. So there I discovered the family constellation therapy, which I believe now is a full package. We sometimes wonder why certain challenges in life keeps repeating. And no matter how hard we try to move past them. And sometimes we feel stuck or disconnected, and we are holding on to certain emotions which sometimes we can't even fully explain why they are there. We might be unaware of something. Sometimes there might be some certain patterns within our own relationships, or certain worries or tensions, forming within us. So the family constellation therapy is a way to uncover and to release those certain dynamics which potentially might be holding us back. And they are rooted in our family system. And that can influence our relationships, our health, our career, and it can also give us or block us from sense of fulfillment. So in general, we are carrying from our parents, mainly from our parents, 5 wounds. So I would say from the time of conceiving to about maybe 6 years old, all those wounds are being formed, or we experience them, which is humiliation, rejection, abandonment, betrayal, and injustice. And so when we carry this in ourselves, and as you may be aware or you may remember yourself, just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and go back to those memories. Whether you felt in some way or form humiliated or felt some rejection from either both parents or only one. And when you're unable to process it, to shout out this injustice, when you're being shut off by your parents, it stays in you. Is being unprocessed. And then you carry on with your life, and mainly from sort of age of 30, sometimes earlier, because now we are more open, more aware of what's happening to our emotions. We feel this, yeah, from, let's say, age of 20, 30, and so on. We've got this certain energy around us, or those wounds, and we attract similar people. You know, back in the days, people were saying that the opposites attract each other. I would say the same wounds attract each other. So you may potentially be attracting person who has been rejected in life, or has been wounded, humiliated, or betrayed. And whoever is around you, whether it is your partner, husband, whether it is your own parent, or even colleagues at work, all these people are going to be showing you what you meant to be working with. Okay. So let's say it is your work colleague, right, which is criticizing you for whatever reason. Okay. So it's not your colleague's fault, really. You would need to go back to your memories and check who was that very first person who has been criticizing you. And maybe potentially it is your mum, or it is your dad, or maybe it was your granny. If you remember. If you don't, then that's okay. I'm here to help you to find the roots of those wounds, issues, problems. So yeah, we are going to be, through our lifetime, we are going to be meeting people which are showing us where you meant to put some work, what you meant to heal. And this process is not a one-off process, it's an ongoing one. So, you know, if you are like me in your 40s, it's going to take quite some time, many sessions, to unravel everything, to heal. And also, you know, one part of it is my work or my job. I can use the tools, but the next process is yours. It belongs entirely to you. How you're going to process it. and what you are going to implement as well. So yeah, when our parents are crossing over and over our boundaries, then, as I was saying, we allow other people to do the same, and there is a need to heal it. So you may ask, okay, so how you're going to feel, or how you may feel after a session, or what subjects we may work with. We can bring clarity and understanding to your relationship patterns, release burdens, emotional burdens passed through generations. As I was saying in a previous episode, not all our burdens belongs to us. We might be carrying something from our ancestors. If there was a death, so if the child was stillborn, unborn, or miscarried, there is this energy forming, energy of sadness, rejection in some way, not being recognized within the family. So potentially you might be carrying it, or some energy of it. If not yourself, could be your sibling, could be your child. Because energy travels, energy likes the balance. So there is a need to look into it. And you may not be aware that the death was in your family, because people don't like to talk, especially mothers. They don't, especially back in the days as well. They don't like to talk about difficult stuff, about, those traumas, because there is a sense of guilt, sense of judgment, and also many times it was a secret. If the secrets are within the family, whether this one, whether different one, potentially you may feel, or you might be even yourself carrying some secret. So as I was saying, not everything what happens to us it belongs to us. So you, within the therapy itself or after, you can empower yourself and break free from those struggles and find inner peace. And you will reconnect with your true self, your purpose, where you're meant to be, that there is a joy in life and of living. And also, you will explore the layers of your family system. It's extremely important, and not many people talk about it. So that's how it looks like.
Yeah. Now, it is a very powerful therapy. I'm going to say that because I know so. And for those that think, when they go to therapy, it has to be about someone else, or you know what I mean? This can be about something within yourself, like maybe you lack motivation, and that's where you can help unlock that, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. I have had clients coming with, so the subjects we were talking about were, or working with, were one of the clients felt the sense of heaviness, not only as a weight, but yeah, it's kind of few dimensional, I guess. The weight could be as you feeling quite big, but also heaviness as of holding something on your shoulder, but you don't know where is this coming from. And when we started working with it, it turns out there was this generational sort of burden and heaviness being passed over from great grandmother to grandmother to her mother and then eventually to my client. And no wonder she felt heavy and disconnected as well. And because we pass, the energy is being passed over from generations of female and generations of male in our family. So it is really important to know what has happened. And you may not know it because there is no one living to tell you the full stories. And all those stories as well, which were passed over to you, there is some form of it, what really truly happened. And you might be carrying something which, doesn't belong to you.
Yeah.
And after the session, you will feel the change. You will feel different.
And I can vouch for that. When I had a session with you, this is the part that I was just wowed at, was how, because it has a spiritual aspect to it, doesn't it? There's a spiritual part to it.
Yeah.
I almost feel like a psychic part to it, because you were saying things to me and I'd think, how do you know this? I know I've never discussed these things with you about my family's history. And you would come out with things about my great grandfather. He, there was a situation that happened with him, which was pretty specific. And you picked up on that. And I remember sort of being a bit taken aback, like, how did you know that? And it was like, and then you'd say something else and I'd be like, how do you know that? I didn't tell you that. And it was, there was so much relevance to it. But the fact that you were able to, and I can see how, because, and I've known you for some time now, and I know that you're a medium, but I can now see how this is really, I want to say, enveloped all your skills. You know what I mean? And this is just like you say, this is the complete package. This is like, but it's just like a deluxe package, because it's just got everything, and there was, situations that you were talking about within my family that I just think, I was just blown. I just could not believe it. And I started to see, and I never made the connection until you started going through it, about the men in the family. And I'm like, oh my God, I see the pattern. I can see the pattern. How could I not have seen the pattern? I'm in my 50s. How could I not have seen the pattern after half of my lifetime? It's just like, it was just mind-blowing. And the results after that, the next day, I'm going to say I was like, this is amazing. I felt light. And it's almost like, I can't describe the feeling. You don't realize, I want to say, the energy we carry, because it was so hard to put words to it. You don't realize the energy you carry. You don't realize the heaviness, or, it's almost like stifling, until you suddenly feel light. Do you know what I mean? You can get so used to it, and that can be so familiar that you don't feel it anymore. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I was trying to describe it to you the next day, and I'm like, I just don't know how to describe this. It's like I feel light inside and outside, and I'm like, this just sounds really weird. But I just felt like this huge, I want to say, dense energy had been lifted from me holistically. It was just so bizarre. And I had this enormous appetite. Now, I know for some people they're going, no, I don't want to eat more. But I'm going to be the first to say out there that, I have had a bad relationship with food since I was a teenager from having anorexia. I had not had a good relationship with food. And it was amazing. The next day I'm like, I'm so hungry. You know what I mean? It was like this wanting and this need for food that I'd never experienced that before. And like I said, here I am, 50 years into my life. And in one session, just one session so far, that had happened within 24 hours, less than 24 hours. It was phenomenal. And I'm happy with the relationship with food now. And you know what I mean? That was very fitting for my situation. So I don't want to put that out there for people that if you have this therapy done, suddenly you're going to be eating everything. That's not what I'm saying. For me, that's what I needed. That's what I needed to be unlocked for me. But I'm going to say this. The issue that I presented with you was actually not about eating.
Yeah.
And not about that. So that's what I found amazing. And it was kind of like a domino effect.
Absolutely.
It was like once one area was taken care of, all these other areas started unlocking. You just don't understand and you can't comprehend how intertwined some things are. They're so intertwined. And I really, really encourage anyone out there that if you feel stuck or you feel, like you were mentioning before, all the different scenarios, especially emotions, history, the past, things that have happened throughout your family, and you start to make the connection, even after hearing this, hang on a minute, this happened to my grandmother. My mum was very similar to. Now, we don't like to make associations with our own parents. No, I'm nothing like my mother, especially if it's a negative trait. But if you're going to be honest with yourself and you're looking to delve deeper and peel away those layers of that, so to speak, that onion, you're going to get down to the truth. And to have this really work to your benefit, be ready for the truth, because that, as they say, will set you free. That will set you free. And again, like I said, you just had this way of pointing out all these past ancestral situations and, things that have happened in my family that I just think you could not have ever possibly known this.
No.
And scenarios and characters about people in my family. And I'm in Australia, you're in Scotland. You have not met my family. It was just incredible. And that was, I think that was mind-blowing for me. I mean, there's so many areas, but yeah. And I mean, I'm the sort of person, if I didn't think it was worthy of talking about, I wouldn't talk about it. Do you know what I mean? But I'm stunned is, I think, the best word. That is probably the best word I can use. Is I was stunned. I was shocked at how quickly and how well this worked. And I loved the spiritual therapy side of it. Clinical but spiritual. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. And I can understand how it works holistically. For people that go, oh, this is another woo-woo. It's not. There's a clinical aspect to it as well, and I just love that. I absolutely love it and recommend it to everyone. It's incredible. And if you haven't tried it for yourself, please do book a session because, the transformation was phenomenal. And I've also known other members of my family that have now come to you and they have walked away like, what the? So, and that is a testament to, your brilliance, the passion that you bring to this therapy, to this package. So, I can't thank you enough. I'm just, it's just blown my mind. And there's other areas that I've noticed, I noticed as days went on, it was like clarity. There was just so many other little things that would come out of the woodwork, and you'd think, hang on a minute, gee, that's changed, so yeah.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. So much so that I'm like, Kasia, you have to talk about this on the podcast, please.
Oh, bless you. It's so amazing. I needed my own spiritual therapy
Mm,
because of things which have happened to me, and through our lifetime, there is so much which has happened from so many different angles that one session, 5 sessions is not enough. So I was looking for, yet again, different one, which is going to be more deeper. Um, so when I found that one, I have been unraveling or healing even more to like the core of it. And it makes you feel lighter. That's understatement, is the sense of like a true understanding now and
mm,
being in peace with whatever has happened. As I was saying earlier on, I was working a lot with the rejection side in my lifetime, to the point I wasn't able through the process to speak to certain family members because it was too hurting. And I just couldn't get over that. There was so much anger, injustice, and so on and so forth. But the family constellation has helped me in this spiritual level to overcome it,
mm.
make a peace with it, and now I'm speaking to those family members with not holding um, any grudge. I just have fully like understanding to it. And I'm in peace, you know? And that is beautiful. But as I was saying, you need potentially few sessions. One session is just the beginning. So you need to be open to it and just trust the process, and everything else will fold into the places.
Yeah.
And also, what you were saying as well, that you thought of yourself that you felt fine. You didn't feel that there was something missing or there was something too much there or not enough there, because after 24 hours, when we are in a certain emotions or certain scenarios, difficult scenarios or experiences, we tend to think of it as it is our own. That's how we meant to feel. So when you are in those situations or attracting certain people, for so long, that's your norm.
Mm,
And then you think, oh, that's the way I meant to feel, you know? And within, the session, the therapy session, it's just being sort of shifted. And then you notice, geez, why didn't I not think of it earlier, But I understand we might be worried or not wanting to face those emotions, certain emotions. They are not easy, to face, or to feel it, yet again. Because it's not nice, So you may
yeah.
feel uncomfortable for some time, but it is a some time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love how the root cause of it ends up coming to light, doesn't it? The root cause
Mm.
comes to light. It really is incredible. It's an incredible therapy. And like I said, I love the fact that there's that spiritual aspect to it. I love how you
Yeah.
bring the psychic part of it in. It just to watch it and to hear it and see it all unfold during the session is just remarkable. You don't experience that with other therapies.
No.
It's anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away too much, but I just say to people, try it for yourself.
You mentioned that you came with certain issue, or I did go with certain issue to my therapist, and then he came out with completely different story. And I'm like, how that is possible? But it is, because that what we think bothers us is not necessarily the cause of it,
Yeah.
and it's rooted deeply somewhere there, whether something to do with our parents, just ancestral line of our family,
Yeah.
mainly,
Yeah.
Sometimes past lives too, or different lives. But that's kind of on the side, and we can work with that as well.
Yeah. And I love that about it too, because it's so open to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just clinical. No. This is it. We're just working with you alone, your physical, emotional self. It's got that spiritual aspect to it, past lives and whatnot, depending on what comes up. I love it.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
I was working lately with about 62-year-old client, and straight after the session, she said, "Oh, I don't feel certain pains." She had like neck pains and shoulder pains and back pains, and she was putting it all to her age, because maybe in that age you meant to feel it that way, but after it all shifted. And of course, every reaction, your body reaction, is going to be different, because we all have different experiences, and we go through the process differently as well. But yet again, she thought because of her age, she's going to be, feeling certain way, and the pain has disappeared and has not came back since. And I'm like, that is just so powerful. And imagine how much good you can do, with the help of universe. It's just amazing, and I feel so privileged to be doing it.
Yeah, that is incredible, because pain does get stored. And I'm not saying it's every case, and I'm not a doctor, or a medical professional to state this, but it is known that pain can store itself in the body, created by issues or baggage or things that we carry, traumas. Once they're released, that can then unlock that pain. It can, it doesn't need to be stored there anymore. So, that's the other thing that I love about it. Now, people don't need to see you in person, obviously, if I've had it done to get this, to book a session, do they? Because they can just do it over Zoom. Is that correct?
That's correct. I do all my sessions through Zoom platform, and you can reach out to me through my Facebook. You can look me up at Kasia Michalak, and through my own website, Soul Connections with Kasia, through my YouTube as well, Soul Connections with Kasia.
Fantastic. And I'll put all of those links in the show notes so people can connect with you and find you easily. And if you haven't watched Kasia's previous episode, I encourage you to please go back and watch that first, because just before, when she spoke about her past family trauma, she talks about that in that episode. So that is an absolute must watch. And I'll put that episode also in the show notes so that you can go back and watch that. Thank you so much, Kasia, and I look forward to having you back on the show very, very soon.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that.
Thanks for joining me at the Medium's Table. The universe is always speaking. Listen and let your spirit soar. Curious for more? Click on one of the videos below and remember to subscribe.